Hey everyone, in this video I will cover the impact of the patch notes on SSF in particular. I will mostly focus on game mechanics and systems, less so on build balance, although I'll have a small section about it at the end. Anything that doesn't impact solo self-found at all, I will ignore, such as new skills. Let's dive in. The most obvious talking point is the new league mechanic, Breach 2.0, or the prequel as Mark mentioned in the Q&A. What is less obvious is its impact on SSF, and while the mechanics don't change, of course, between SSF and trade, I think two aspects of Breach are particularly helpful in solo self-found. I also think at the start of solo self-found and possibly endgame as well, you may struggle closing the breaches unless you have a solid build. The first thing that stands out to me is the Genesis tree, which you can expand on and grow some limbs, and it comes with its own tree, because of course it does. The items falling off this tree will be very impactful in SSF, I believe, whether it's currency that is always in demand or altered uniques with special modifiers. It's going to be interesting what you'll get and how you can make an SSF build around it, or how it can improve the build that you're currently running. The second feature, which will largely have to replace mercenaries, is crafts. The arms sticking out of you, providing buffs and skills that you can use or skills that trigger when you do certain things. You can get 2 arms in total in time. It reminds me of that Elden Ring boss, Godric the Grafted. And while Mark said in the Q&A that these effectively replace your mercenaries, you cannot gear these crafts, however. So you will not have a purple stow on your crafts, which I think means they will be quite a bit weaker overall than the homies were, which is fine. These crafts will open up a lot of random possibilities in SSF, as crafting on them seems limited, so you will have to roll with whatever craft you find. You can craft on crafts using implants, but that requires currency from the Genesis tree, and it seems like there's a limited supply, so more often than not you will run around with whatever crafts you pick up and save crafting for those crafts that are very promising. Talking about crafting, the Genesis tree, and maybe also other sources, can drop Foulborn currency, which acts as a greater crafting currency in Path of Exile 2. These guarantee a higher level affix tier on gear, and basically only roll the top 3 tiers, for example. I think this will turn out to be very useful in SSF, as I am using these all the time in Path of Exile 2, and you will get way better gear than you otherwise would. I expect these to be quite rare as a result. They are also pretty rare in Path of Exile 2, but they are very well worth it. After Act 1, there will be an NPC in town and later in your hideout that identifies all items for free. That's pretty big in solo self-found, where one way or another you always had to get scrolls of wisdom, and that is now a thing of the past. Something else that's huge, if you're a minion Andy like me, is that specters no longer are permanently removed when they die, but instead become floating orbs which revive automatically in the next zone. Especially if you use ritual corpses, those itemized corpses that you get from ritual, those are a total pain in the ass to grind in SSF. If you use those, this feature is a game changer, as you should now never lose these corpses pretty much. You can still overwrite the specters if you exceed the specter limit and summon a new one, but at least you are no longer afraid to take a rare specter into pinnacle content or tier 17 maps, because you're afraid they're dying. I think this is a great quality of life thing and sorely needed for summoners. Another change then, this is about Gravicius in transportation for betrayal. He was nerfed and he's now less likely to get high rarity divination cards from chests. This was a pretty solid way to farm tier 1 and tier 2 uniques or rare currencies in solo self-found, so that is a bit of a shame, but it's understandable. This guy was way too strong, I think. And outside of that, I can't see much SSF specific impact of these patch notes. In fact, in terms of skill and ascendancy balance, barring the new assassin of course, there are very few changes. The vast majority of starters, as far as I can tell, will still be good. Very few nerfs are there. I think the week 1 meta is going to be roughly the same as last league, with perhaps some more wonders into the mix with all these new kinetic skills, and then I would think people start figuring out the new bloodline ascendancies, how to incorporate those into their builds, new broken combinations, new uniques, and of course the addition of crafts, which I'm sure will break a thing or two. So once all of those effects and features start kicking in, I think the meta will indeed be quite different, but that's going to take a little bit of time. Which also means if you're looking for a solid SSF League starter, they will all still be there for the most part. All of the league starters that were great in SSF last league will still be good today, because hardly anything changed. And I'm fine with that. I think League Start is just that. And the interesting part comes with the new endgame, the Genesis tree, the crafts, bloodline ascendancies. I don't mind it at all, but I'm sure some people do. So that's it. I will keep it short. I don't really see a reason to dive into other stuff, as that doesn't impact SSF specifically. I wish you all a great League Start. I'm very excited, and I will make some more preparation videos, so subscribe for SSF content. Thanks for watching and making it to the end. I will see you soon. Love you all. Bye bye.